Luxuries will turn monks into worldly people. Geronda. How much decoration is appropriate for a church? Considering the era in which we live, which is not Byzantium, the simpler the decoration is, the more it helps. Even in a church, simplicity always helps. What would be a good design for a church iconostasis, for example? In monastic design, it should be modest and simple. Saint Pachomios had a column made crooked so that people would not admire his work. Do you recall what happened? He had constructed a church in a monastery with great diligence and made the columns using clay bricks. When he saw how beautiful the church was, he felt great joy. But then he realized the rejoicing for the beautiful work of his hands was not God's will. He tied the columns with ropes, and after he prayed, he asked the brothers to pull on the ropes until the columns became crooked. Every year at the Calvary, I cut metal sheets and patch my leaky roof and my broken windows so that the wind will not come in. I use wooden planks and nylon. Now you might say, why don't you put in double windows? I know how to do that. I am a carpenter. If I wanted to, I could have made windows with triple barriers, but then there would be no monastic spirit left inside. My vault is in shambles. I could have asked others to help me take care of things in the Calvary, but I can get by the way things are. Why should I spend money on a wall when there is so much need elsewhere? A new wall is of no help to me. If I have a 500 drachma bill, I prefer to buy small crosses and icons and give them to hurting people that they may have some consolation. It gives me great joy to give to others. Even if I really need something, I will not spend the money on myself. Just as at the start of spiritual life, the novice cannot get enough of his new life, so too, when we start enjoying beautiful things, it is difficult to stop. Do you know what you need to do? You need to stop taking care of well-made buildings. Do and build only what is absolutely necessary for your lives. Instead, turn your attention to human misery. If you have things to give away, give them to those in need. If you don't, then pray. Pray and do only those chores that are absolutely necessary. The many things that usually take up our time are short-lived. Is it worth wasting our lives this way, when so many are suffering or dying from starvation? Simple buildings and humble belongings mentally transport a monastic to the caves and austere dwellings of our holy fathers, and are of great spiritual benefit. However, worldly belongings remind us of the world we left behind, and cause monastic souls to become secular. Recently, as excavations in Nitria unearthed the first cells of the monks who had lived there, their ascetic dwellings. During the excavation, they also found monastic cells that were built at a later time. They realized that these later were far closer to secular standards than the very first structures. When even more recent monastic cells were unearthed, they saw that they resembled the living rooms of a wealthy person of that time. They had paintings and pictures on the walls and so on. It was these well-decorated cells that brought the wrath of God. Criminals came and robbed and destroyed them. Christ was born in a manger. If we find comfort in worldly things, Christ will spit on us, something he never did to anyone. I had nothing, he will tell us. Is that what is written in the gospel? Did you see me do as you are doing? You are not lay people, nor are you monastics. What should I do with you now? Where should I put you? What is beautiful and artistically well made belongs to the world. It cannot comfort those who want to live a spiritual life. There is no wall that will not eventually be torn down. A single soul is worth more than the entire world. What do we do for our souls? We must start working spiritually and have only the right kind of concern. Christ will ask us what spiritual work we have accomplished and how we have helped the world in spiritual matters. He will not want to know what buildings we built. He will not even mention them. It is according to our spiritual progress that we will be judged. I want you to really grasp the spirit of what I am saying. I'm not saying that we must not build buildings or that we are not to construct them well. What I am saying is that we must first take care of the spiritual fire and then look at the rest. And whatever we do, we must do with spiritual discernment.